So recommended books is gonna be because you need general networking. And in here, I've seen so many people that they're saying, "Oh, I know how ARP works. Oh, I know how IP works, or I know how PPP works, or I know how Ethernet works," but actually, they never actually read the proper book for that. Because if you just read the CCNA official certification guide, they don't exactly tell you like insights out how TCP/IP works, how TCP works, how UDP works, or how Ethernet works. They just give you brief overviews about those, like high-level overview about what is TCP, what is UDP, what is the difference in between, but they don't go into the details of that. They don't tell you exactly how routing works in the end. So you need to actually go and read the book which is targeted to teach you that. So this is going to be the TCP/IP guide, one of them. If you go on, if you have a Safari online account, so if you go in here and say TCP/IP guide, for example, let me see which one is it. I think we even click on it. I think I have added this one. You have the hyperlinks in the presentation. Yes, there you go. This is the book I was speaking about. So the TCP/IP guide speaks only about, as you can see, about OC layers, TCP, IP layers, how TCP works, how IP works, how Ethernet. There you go. TCP/IP protocol suite and architecture. Oh, it goes into all of the details of how things work in there. So don't assume you know things. Just give it a look and see if you actually know exactly what they're stating in there. Of course, you may pass in general things like, for example, they go in here, they speak about things like SLIP, which is from what HDLC and PPP came from, or about things like, yeah, let's say SLIP, for example, SLIP, right? So most people, what they do, they go in here and they just skip the topic. That's of course one approach. That's a historical, not common, not no longer used technology. But at the same time, knowing history is gonna make you better understand why we have currently the current protocols and why they work in a certain way. Because PPP came from SLIP. If you understand SLIP, you're gonna understand PPP and what actually was the problem with SLIP that they have to came up with PPP, for example. So history is gonna make you have a better understanding of why certain things work the way they do. Then it's going to be the other book, which is going to be TCP/IP Illustrated Volume 1, The Protocols, which is a fantastic book, which is a must read. So TCP/IP Volume 1, TCP/IP Volume 1. It is TCP/IP Illustrated Volume 1. There you go, this one. Look at the edition from 2011, not the one from 1993. It has been updated. Which again, this is about TCP/IP. So those two books, the TCP/IP guide and this one, have a lot of overlapping. But reading two different, authors speaking about not the same topics but close to, is going to again help you around and give you a better understanding. So again, they speak in here about the link layer, the ARP layer, and of course they go into the details of that. The link layer, the ARP layer, then the IP layer, DHCP auto configuration, firewall SNAT. So a lot of technologies which they cover in great detail, and it's actually a very good written book. Then, as an introduction to network security, is going to be another CISCO, this time a CISCO Press book, as far as I remember, the Network Security Fundamentals. Network Security Fundamentals. Network Security Fundamentals. Let's see if there is a newer version of that. Then look at the content and make sure that's the book. You have the hyperlinks in the presentation. Yeah, this is the one. So they speak about network security overview, chapter number 1, then about vulnerabilities, need of security, chapter number 2, and they speak about, of course, TCP and IP issues. Then they should speak about application issues. There we go, buffer overflows, spoofing, social engineering, understanding defenses. So what can you do to defend against those kind of attacks which were previously outlined. Then cryptography. So it's an overlap with CCNA security, of course, but it's a different view of those technologies. And of course, it is actually a bit more in detail because it doesn't cover the exact same topics as CCNA security. It doesn't speak about web security in detail, about email security in detail. So you're gonna mix some of the chapters, but it's gonna be better from other technologies. Then CCNA routing and switching. So go and I highly recommend here the official certification guides, especially those are 2 certifications. So for both of them, I think the book was written by the so well-known Wendell Adam, which clearly he is a instructor, a very good teacher. So his books are actually fantastic. So CCNT official certification guide. Not that one because the exam number changed. They was written by Wendell Adam. So both this book and CCNA, likewise. CCNA routing and switching, of course. Which is this one. So these are again very, very good books, which I highly recommended to read both of them, both CCENT and CCNA. Now you might think, well, I gotta read so many books just for basic certification. Now you have to understand that it's a pyramid. The bigger the fundament is, the bigger the building blocks you build to begin with in your journey, the easier it's going to be for you in future. So basically, is a pyramid. Clearly, the top is narrowed down, but the base is quite wide. So you have to make sure that you have that fundamental base as wide as possible by reading a lot and, of course, practicing a lot. Okay. And then for CCNA security, you have the official certification guide, which is not a CISCO Press publication, which I have not read that book. But it is, I have just looked up to the book's content, and it's actually a well-written book. Make sure you don't go to the old exam version. You look at the current exam number, which is this one. So it's written by John Stapi and Omar Santos. His release date is September 2015. So this should cover, as far as I looked it up, it covers most of the contents from the blueprint. So reading the book is going to be a tremendous help towards both your, let's say, theory, towards your exam, and also from the knowledge point of view. Not from the practical point of view, because there are no examples in there. I mean, there are not live examples. It's just a bunch of commands here and there. But from the theory point of view and for the exam, it's actually a very good read. It covers, as I was saying, as far as I looked it up, pretty much close to all of the topics which are presented in the blueprint.